Joining me now are two special guests. I'm joined by PDT Achari, the former Lok Sabha Secretary General and former Additional Solicitor General of the country, Biswajit Bhattacharya. Let me first put the big questions. Mahua Moitra, is she guilty of unethical conduct as is being alleged? Is Mahua Moitra victim of a smear campaign because she has taken on the Prime Minister's office and the Adani Group? Is Mahua Moitra now facing disqualification? Why has the TMC not spoken out in favor of their MP yet? Just some of the questions I'll raise. But I want to focus today on the legal angle to understand what lies ahead. PDT Achari, to you first. This matter has gone to the Ethics Committee. Does that mean, based on an affidavit that a businessman gives, where he says that, yes, my Mahua Moitra gave her login number to me, that he doesn't talk about cash and gifts at all in his affidavit, but talks about the login number being given. Is that sufficient for her to face disqualification?
Well, there is no disqualification involved in this. It is actually, the either suspension or expulsion, that is the extreme kind of punishment which is given by the House to a member.
Can that be done by the Ethics Commission, sir? Can the Ethics Committee itself decide?
Yes,
please go ahead.
I was coming to that. Now, so far as the Ethics Committee is concerned, Ethics Committee does not have that kind of a mandate to recommend the expulsion of a member. Because that is done by the Privileges Committee. Actually, if you look at this case, the main charge in this case is that there was a quid pro quo between them. And he was promoting his interest through questions and all that, and taking money, gratification, illegal gratification. This is the basic charge. And then naturally this matter should have gone to the Privileges Committee of Parliament, Lok Sabha, because bribery, accepting bribe by a member from anybody, is a serious breach of privilege and contempt of the House. And such a case of breach of privilege is looked into, examined, investigated by the Privileges Committee only. I do not know why this has been referred to the Ethics Committee.
Okay, so you're saying that this should have been referred to the Privileges Committee, which has the powers then to decide whether the charges are sufficient enough to recommend either suspension or expulsion. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, let me turn for a moment to Mr. Biswajit Bhattacharya. Mr. Biswajit Bhattacharya, your take on what you are seeing. Mahua Moitra says, look, this is preposterous. This is someone who's a former boyfriend of mine, a jilted boyfriend who's targeting me, who's using this businessman who incidentally 3 days ago did not make any such comments, in fact denied ever having given any gifts or cash. Suddenly now in an affidavit says, yes, Mahua Moitra did approach me. How do you respond? Do you believe that this is a strong enough case, or do you see this as a smear campaign to target someone who has targeted the Adani Group in particular?
Maybe a combination of partly both, because the allegations are of serious in nature, but at the same time, it is premature to say that this constitutes any contravention at this stage. This is allegation versus counter-allegation. Now, the matter has also gone to Delhi High Court, and entire, controversy started on 14th of October, that is last Saturday. And this pertains to allegations from 2019 to 2023, so 4 years. Now, nothing had happened, nothing was known till 14th of October, when abruptly, and perhaps out of the blue to the entire world, the complaint was lodged by the gentleman concerned, who was a close friend of the lady member of parliament. And one complaint was lodged to the Central Bureau of Investigation, detailed investigation on the same day, and another complaint was lodged to the member of parliament who belongs to a different political party. On Sunday, the next day, the member of parliament of a rival political party writes to the speaker of the Lok Sabha on a Sunday, and on Monday, legal notice is issued by the lady member of parliament comprehensively, and on the very next day, since apology was sought, apology was not given, Delhi High Court suit was filed. So under these circumstances, Rajdeep, my considered opinion is, as of now, so much of, and you know, this affidavit which the...
No, as of now what? As of now what? Let's be clear. As of now?
As of now, the triggering point of the entire controversy which has come before the nation is this particular open-ended affidavit filed by the industrialist, a rival industrialist, and he has not yet been called by either the Privileges Committee or Ethics Committee. I'm surprised the matter has gone to Ethics Committee, and on 26th they are being... You see, when you take on the high and mighty in the country by asking questions in parliament. Asking questions in the parliament is a constitutional obligation. Every Lok Sabha member is required to ask questions. He should seek question from his constituency to nurse the constituency. Now the question is the quid pro quo aspect under the Prevention of Corruption Act. As per the Constitution Bench judgment of the Supreme Court, the standard of proof will have to be, you know, ultimately whether this case...
Who has to prove it? Does Mahua have to prove her innocence, or does Mr. Jai Dehadrai and Mr. Hiranandani and Mr. Nishikant Dubey, they have to prove? Who has to make...
A person who levels the allegation has to prove, and there is a presumption also under Section 20 of the Prevention of Corruption Act that has been interpreted comprehensively by a constitution bench of the Supreme Court. So I personally feel at this stage, to a lady member of parliament for having taken on the high and mighty and highest in the country, I think this kind of a thing is a part, and we will have to be accepted, and ultimately law will have to take its own course.
Okay, let me bring in
some price every public, but you know, asking questions in the parliament, and you know, this may also be an attempt to silence and to basically to, you know, remove the inconvenient questions which are being asked. The questions will have to be answered. The questions may be whether these are motivated, tendentious, with an oblique, you know, interest or consideration. It is a matter of evidence.
Okay, the evidence, therefore, from your experience there, Mr. PDT Achari, does it have to be of a conclusive nature, like it was, remember, in the sting operation which was carried out in the Cash for Questions in 2006-07? At that time, several MPs lost their membership because it was all on tape. Will you need video evidence? It is otherwise one word against the other. Mr. Hiranandani 3 days ago claims he knows nothing about it, suddenly puts out this affidavit. Mahua Moitra denies it. Jai Dehadrai, the lawyer, has gone and has filed a complaint before the CBI. What is the nature of evidence required here? Or is this going to be, I mean, what does the Ethics Committee need to decide on this?
Actually, you know, the committee has to sift the entire evidence. And then they have to prove it.
Now, who has to make the proof? Does Nishikant Dubey and Mr. Hiranandani have to prove it?
Yes, the people who made complaints, they have to give conclusive proof about this particular issue. And therefore, it is their duty, it is their responsibility to prove this case to the hilt.
No, but if the businessman claimed Mahua Moitra used gave her login to him, is that enough to prove that is unethical behavior or improper behavior?
No. See, an affidavit is an affidavit. Everybody knows that, and you know, it has to be corroborated with other evidence and all that. And the committee will have to go into all these aspects. Only after that, it can make a recommendation. And then the recommendation will go to the House, and it is actually the House will take a final decision on this matter. Suppose the committee makes a particular recommendation to suspend her for 1 month or 2 months or whatever, then it is actually for the House to decide finally whether that should be done or whether she should be allowed to go.
So the Ethics Committee can make a, correct me if I'm wrong, Ethics Committee can make a recommendation. The recommendation has to be on conclusive evidence. It cannot be only on the basis of an allegation. The allegation will have to be, and just handing over a login according to you is not enough. You will have to prove, as in the cash for questions, that actually cash and gifts were given. Am I correct?
Yes, okay. Certainly. The standard of proof, standard of proof is very high. It should be the same as in a criminal case. Okay. That's how it is.
Standard of proof is very high, should be as in a criminal case. Your sense, therefore, Bishwajit Bhattacharya, you made an important point. You're saying someone today who takes on someone high profile, in this case, someone who's taken on both the Prime Minister and Gautam Adani repeatedly. We saw Rahul Gandhi took on Mr. Adani. A month later, he was disqualified. You will recall that in February, March this year. That is Mahua Moitra's claim. She too will have a lot of answering to do, won't she?
Of course, she will have an answering to do, because these allegations, as I said at the outset, are serious allegations, and the allegations will have to be met. But bare allegation does not prove anything by itself. It has to meet the standards of judicial norms and the settled case laws. And there is no allegation, as I have read, of accepting cash, some renovation of house and all. Of course, the illegal gratification, alleged purported illegal gratification, the ambits are very, very broad, but it has to be proved. Another allegation is that, sharing of login password, etc., it comes under the registered mobile of the member of parliament concerned. And we know that an office of a member of parliament is distinct from the office, a corporate office or a government office. It is an informal kind of an office. I've had experience of meeting several members of parliament.
But aren't you surprised at the manner in which some of the allegations have suddenly cropped up all these years? It almost seems as if they are an afterthought.
No. Everything, you just see this with this distinguished member of parliament who lodged a complaint or forwarded the complaint of the distinguished lawyer, if I may say, with the greatest of respect. Because after all, everybody is doing his job. Somebody is not happy with, he's taking Lloyd's own course. And just as the madam distinguished member of parliament is also, taking all steps. So I am surprised because these allegations pertain to a span of 4 years. And abruptly on 14th of October, there was some kind of a dispute between the gentleman lawyer and the member of parliament, and police complaint was lodged in Barakhamba police station on 25th of March this year and 23rd of September this year. And settlement was arrived at. So whole thing, started from 4th October this year, Rajdeep, if I may say. With
the point though is, the fact is that even other names are being dragged in. Pallavi and Shardul Shroff, top lawyers' names are being dragged in, allegedly because Mr. Cyril Shroff is someone who is a relative of Gautam Adani. He is the father-in-law of Mr. Adani's son, and he has reportedly dragged in the name of the Shroffs, who are top lawyers of the country, who say they've never even met Mahua Moitra. Sucheta Dalal says she has never met Mahua Moitra. Prima facie, therefore, it appears that there is a lot of proving that Mr. Jai Dehadrai will have to do, and Mr. Hiranandani, who has suddenly changed his mind in 3 days, will have to do.
Rajdeep, I am shocked to see the name of Sucheta Dalal, the most distinguished economic journalist ever. On 23rd of April 1992, Sucheta Dalal broke the story in Times of India about one of the biggest scams of Harshad Mehta. Harshad Mehta scam. I have personal knowledge of all these things because, I have been a banker turned lawyer. So in those days, I was changing my profession from banking to the lawyer.
Sir,
And persons like Suchita Dalal,
so you think there will be a lot of proving that they will have to do? That this cannot be simply one person's allegation enough to tarnish the reputation of another person. Am I correct? Very quickly, 10 seconds.
Sorry?
Yes or no? It requires a complete comprehensive evidence to be put before. Am I correct or not?
That is, yes, you are correct, and it is premature to jump and draw into any conclusion. This media trial.
Okay, the media trial
is the most effective and most expeditious. I wish nobody, neither the big persons concerned who are involved, nor the persons who are, having some kind of an animosity or grudge against each other. No adverse inference should be drawn as yet. And Delhi High Court has also, what Delhi High Court will do on 31st of October, that will also have a tremendous amount of bearing. I was a little surprised. Anyway, I should...
Let me leave it there, Mr. Biswajit Bhattacharya and Mr. PDT Acharya. Let's allow the system to carry on and hopefully a free and fair investigation take place. If Mahua Moitra has committed any unethical conduct, let that come out. But let this not become another media trial. PDT Acharya, Biswajit Bhattacharya, appreciate both of you joining us here on the news today.